What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another session of Coffee and Martial Arts. Salud, salud, salud. Cheers. Yes. And today we have a great show as usual. Yes, we have a great guest and we are ready for you. But before we go there, well, I just shared with you a little bit of a video there. It's something we got a week ago, a week and a half ago, and it's a documentary that it's been created by Maestro Roy McDonald from the Jersey Island, and they're doing this Tribe of Parker thing, okay? Which is it's a project that it's about to be released on the Ed Parker's American Kenpo development. Okay, so it's a good video. We're going to be sharing more of it. This is the third one, the third excerpt that we are sharing. We already shared this one.
This story of Kenpo Karate has been over 50 years in the making. This story is about an American martial art, American Kenpo Karate. But this story is also about this special man, Ed Parker, the man who developed this art, who made it practical, and who made it a science. Dubbed the father of American karate, Edmund K. Parker, senior grandmaster, 10th degree black belt, who opened the first commercial karate school in the mainland USA in 1954.
He was a man that with a couple of simple moves could shake the building.
So this started as a Facebook post back in 2018 by the man, Roy McDonald. Salute to you, sir. And, well, it's now becoming a full documentary, and they're going to release it soon. So be ready, because we will have the exclusive here. Yes, sir. Thank you. So let's see. Today, before we go live, remember that before we go with our guests, we are going live on our Facebook page, Master Frank Soto Kinetic Dragon. Yes, sir. So please go to the page, subscribe, follow us. That really helps us. And if you like this video, share it, okay? That also helps us. Just share it on your face, and that helps us a lot, okay? Also, we are going live through the International Hall of Fame of Argentina. That's a nice group of martial artists that are doing great things down there, promoting the art at an international level and a very high level, with a lot of fine individuals there. So also please support the the Facebook page by clicking a like button. Yes, sir. We're also going live on our YouTube channel, okay? The Kinetic Dragon. Yes, sir. Kinetic Dragon channel on YouTube. Please also subscribe there. And if you want to get notifications, click on the little bell, so you get the notification every time we go live. We're going live every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific daytime here in America. Yes, sir. Okay, so today, please leave comments and ask questions. That really helps. So today we have a great guest, an old colleague of mine, a good Kenpo friend, an amazing Kenpoist, and also a great competitor and a teacher and promoter of the arts. Yes, sir. So he has a successful studio there in the Netherlands. Yes, sir. In the Utrecht area. And he's, being very successful in his Kenpo career through many, many years. And he is active at an international level, right? So he goes to tournaments and he gives seminars, and he's well known in the community. So we are honored to bring in today Mr. or Maestro Marcel de Jong from the Katsudo Kenpo Karate Studios. Okay, so let's just put a little bit of an intro and then bring the man in. Hello, how you doing,
Hello.
sir?
Hi there.
That's
was
a
a great
very,
video.
that's a very nice video, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. That was actually the occasion was the first time we could train again after the first lockdown. In what was it again? I think it was May or June last year. And first time we couldn't train inside, had to train outside, and then it started raining. But we thought, well, this is the first time we're never mind the rain. We're just going to continue. And our good friend and Martin Lima, he made the video with the drone. So that was an excellent advertisement after all. Yeah.
And I got to say, you have a very nice environment there. I mean, you can tell by the video, all the students, and that's what it's about, right? Committing to the students, servicing the community and sharing the arts. So I think, that's why I really liked it. And I took the liberty to put it here as an intro. I hope you don't mind.
Most welcome. Thank you.
Nice. Well, we have people saying hello already. Let's see. Diego Andres Salvucci saying, Salud, maestros, from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Yes, sir.
Gotta put down my coffee. Oh, thank you.
Sifu Ernesto Colbrenner, Salud, maestros, from the Chinese Culture House of Santa Fe, Argentina. Big hug from the heart.
Oh, thank you.
Sifu.
Thank you.
Bobby Gesse, is that it? Okay? How's that?
Bobby Geuze. Well, that's Dutch. That's Dutch.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, Bobby. Okay, so greeting, Mr. Soto. Greetings to you, sir. Mr. De Jong has been my instructor for the last 10 years. Beautiful. See, that's what I'm talking about. A great martial artist, inspiration, and friend. See you on Saturday, Marcel. Beautiful.
You definitely will, Bobby.
Thank you. Mr. Seabrook, maestro, Seabrook Martial Arts Academy, say, hey, Marcel, great to see you doing so well. Salute from Canada. And Frank, thank you, sir. That is a great service to the Kenpo world. Mr. Seabrook, you are on my list. So, yes, I will contact you, sir.
That's where he belongs, on your list. Yes, great guy.
Yeah, that's a good list, by the way. Good list.
You've also got a bad list.
I guess. No, I only have a good list. Chris Lilliland Havas, a big hello from Denmark. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Damien Abbott says, Marcel de Jong, a great collaborator with me, whether it be the calling, the Rotterdam session, or in the competition circuit. True friendship on and off the mats. Have a great interview, gentlemen. And he actually sent something that he wanted me to share. Sorry about that.
I know where that was.
That's Damien doing his thing. There you go. That's better.
That was not me being so small. That was at the table being so high.
That's right. Yeah. And let's see. We have this one over here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
The announcement of one of the Rotterdam sessions. That was great.
There we go.
Great group of guys. Yeah.
Okay. And we have another comment right here. Let's see. Catherine Letter Sumter Gudo says, hello, Master Frank and Master Marcel. Greeting from the Pacific Northwest, Washington State. Thank you, Gudo.
Thank you, Catherine.
Liz Harris says, love that photo.
Which one?
All of them. Nice. Well, I just got to say thank you, sir, for accepting the invitation for being here on the show. I appreciate that you take your time and to be here. And
it's a great honor.
Every time we bring a new guest, well, I always ask if you could share briefly, a little bit of your background in the martial arts, how you started, how you got to where you're at. I know it would take more than an hour, but just share everything. But just a brief intro.
A brief history.
For people that don't know you or don't have the honor or pleasure of meeting you, if they can know about you, please, sir.
Okay, well, I started in Kenpo in February 1991. Before that, I was training in a fitness school, and I thought that was kind of boring. Just left the military service. I had to do something, so I started fitness, but that was nothing. And through a friend who trained in the studio of Hans Hesselman in the Netherlands, he told me, Kenpo, you should try Kenpo. Kenpo is good. So I went there on February 15th, 1991. There's Hans. Yes, Hans' studio it was. And I started training, and the rest is kind of history. I stayed there for many years, for over 20 years, and Hans is still a good friend of mine, and a man I will always be grateful for what he did for Kenpo in the Netherlands, and more specifically for me, because, if it hadn't been for Hans, I would probably not have known what Kenpo was. And if I wouldn't have known what Kenpo was, I would not even have met my wife. So Hans and Kenpo has had a great influence on my, there she is, there we are, and great influence on my life. And it was in December 2012, that's our group of instructors. We took that picture, we'll talk about that later. 2012, December, I was at a seminar in Germany with, amongst others, Michael Miller and Sean Kelly, and Mike Friedman was there, Angelo Piano was there, and Mr. Pick was there, Mike Pick. I'd met him before a few times. There they are, both my instructors. And Mr. Pick asked me if I would like to be his student. So I gladly accepted. Not to say that, it's invaluable what I learned from Hans, but there have been a lot of seminars I was in. In a seminar, you always learn one or two things you didn't know.
Right.
In Mr. Pick's seminar, the entire way I moved changed. That was a lot more essential than just. That makes it sound not important, because all those little bits of information are important as well. But this was more essential. This changed the way I moved. So that was a good thing, and so I accepted. And since then, since the beginning of 2013, I'm Mr. Pick's student. Unfortunately, he lives all the way in Washington, so I don't see him that often. But then again, right now, if I'm still digesting whatever I learned during the last seminar that we've had, which was way too long ago in 2016. And the plan was to go there last year, but then COVID came around the corner. So then I was going in April this year, but COVID was still there. So probably next year, hopefully next year. I'll be meeting him again, and we'll see.
Nice.
So
nice.
That's the brief version.
Okay. You've been doing a lot of competition as well, right?
I have, yeah.
What's your experience there?
My experience, I started doing competition as a learning tool because I thought, well, in the school where you can, well, there's a, that's my prize cabinet. So as you can see, I've done quite well. I started because if you're training in a school, you tell your partner, throw me a right punch, and he throws you a right punch, and you do just that. That's not very exciting, you know. There's no tension in there. Here's a little clip of my my staff set, staff form, the one I created myself.
You are well done for that one.
I've won quite a few nice prizes with that, and yeah, well, it's you know, I thought that in the beginning the tournaments, they were, as I said, more for learning, and after a while, when you start winning prizes, it's of course also a lot of fun and a rewarding experience to go there and experience that people like what you're doing. So that's what I did. And I thought the staff is my favorite weapon because a lot of the weapons people use in martial arts, like nunchakus, nunchucks, or what they're called. But if I walk on the streets, I don't have nunchucks.
Right.
I do have sometimes a stick, or I do have sometimes an umbrella, or whatever, or I can pick up a stick from the street. I don't see that many nunchucks lying around in the street. Right. So that's why I like the staff, because it's of the weapons, it's the most realistic weapon that I might be able to use sometime. You never know. And the others are less of that. So that's why I like the staff. So for a while, of course, you start with staff set 1, which is quite a cool basic set or form. But after a while, you want more, and I learned another staff set, and then actually I started changing the staff set in Portugal in 2001 for the tournament because I had injured my thumb. I don't even know which one again, but one of my thumbs was pointing the other way, so I had trouble holding my staff. So I started changing the staff set to accommodate that. And while I was doing that, I discovered that I actually liked doing that, thinking about new ways to use the staff. And from there on, I started, changing the staff set and making it my own. And that's what came about after a few years. I think I spent like 7-8 years developing, changing a little thing and doing a tournament, changing another little thing. And after 7 or 8 years, it was what it is now.
Nice, nice. Well, so you started in Utrecht, right, with Mr.
Yes.
Hess.
Mm-hmm.
And but you, when did you decide to start traveling around? And was it because of competition or joining seminars? Because I think I met you in Jersey Island, I think, or 2008, was it?
Yeah, I was there. I started traveling in my first international event was the Jersey event in 1994. I went there mainly for the seminars because I wasn't much of a competitor in those days. But that is where I first did I did join the competition, because I always think if you're there anyway, you might as well participate. I'm not one of them to sit in the stands and watch. I like to take part in whatever is going on. So I took part in the competition, learned a few valuable lessons. Won nothing, probably because of those lessons. This is much later. Flying lessons, which is part of my staff form. And well, ever since I started, I kept competing. This is Long Beach 2009, my first and only big trophy from Long Beach. I've had a few more, but that was the last one when they handed out medals. So I'm very happy to still have one of the big ones. This is the Grand Championship trophy together with Anthony Cogliandro. He won the sparring. I won the special forms. Nice. The traditional forms. That was a competition of self-defense, team forms, weapons forms, creative forms, and I won that one. So that's, yeah, wow. Very glad. Still very glad I won that. It's actually, I think it was last Sunday, exactly 10 years ago.
Wow. Nice. So you've done a lot of traveling, mm-hmm. a lot of competition, and when did you decide to open up a school to start teaching? Why and when and why? I
started teaching in 1996 in Hans's school.
Okay.
First as an assistant in the typical way that Hans did that. He asked you, could you please start? I'll be there in a minute. And then he would watch you for the whole hour and see how you managed. And probably if I hadn't had managed, then he would have come in to jump in. But he didn't. He let me go do what I did for the full hour. And ever since I was teaching, and after 10 years, 2006, me and my wife together, we decided to open up our own school in our hometown, New-Rijn, and that's what became Katsudo Kenpo. And Katsudo Kenpo is a reference to Hans's school, because Hans's school was called, or was called in the day, the Action Kenpo Karate Studio.
Right.
And Katsudo means action, so it's still the same school, but a little different. So I wanted to pay tribute to our heritage, but also make up a new name. I wanted it to have a name because I think that's important. Because Katsudo Kenpo is not me, it's not my wife, it's us with the whole group, and therefore right. I wanted a name, not Marcel and Agat's Kenpo. No, because one day when we're old, somebody else is going to do it, and it's still going to be Katsudo Kenpo. That's why I thought it was important to have a name that people can be proud of. And
beautiful.
As far as I know, they are. So that's why.
Beautiful. Great. When did you realize that Kenpo was going to be, take all this part of your life or a lifetime project?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was pretty soon after I started training. I started, as I said, training in February 1991. I started one time a week, but after a few months, I already took all the classes I could. Whenever work permitted and relationships permitted, I went to the school and trained as much as I could. Always did every seminar that was there, and so pretty soon I thought, oh, this is different, because I think training Kenpo or any other martial art is much more essential than running after a ball and kicking it in a net. There's no use for kicking balls in nets, but there is use for self-defense. So I think that makes it more valuable to me. No disrespect to everybody who likes kicking balls in nets. You can earn a lot of money with that, but that's only happy few.
Fun too, I guess.
But everybody can use a little self-defense, and that's why I thought that was much better and nicer to spend my life doing. And it only became more. There's not a specific time that I thought, well, this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life, but it grew.
Nice. People saying hello. Let's see. Manon Aben says, "Hoi, Marcel."
Yeah, Manon was always there in Utrecht. She was nice. There in Utrecht long before I started. She was already a black belt when I started, and the staff said one. She taught me that one, and that's where my starting point was for my tournament career.
Nice, nice. Master Rainer Schulte says, good to see you, Marcel. Fran, you got one of Europe's finest. Nice.
Well, thank you, Mr. Schulte. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I agree. Danilo Sulveran says, greeting, masters. Os. Master Sean Kelly, Marcel is a class act.
Well, means a lot coming for you, Sean.
Nice. Thank you, sir. Patrick Lansing says, cool coffee and nice insights. Respect. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Patrick. He's a father of two of my students.
Thank you. Nice, nice. Guru Catherine says, Master Marcel, can you talk a little bit about your stick fighting experience?
Yeah, sure. My stick fighting. If you're talking small sticks, then I'm done pretty quickly because hardly any experience. Well, I've done it, of course. We've done all done a few seminars striking with sticks, but I haven't done that a lot. If we're talking the big stick. Well, as said, I've done that a lot. And I actually, after learning staff set when and after starting to change it, I put in some parts of different staff sets or forms that other people did. An important part of my form, I learned in China. My wife and myself, we went there in 2004. Wow. And trained in a Shaolin Kenpo, Shaolin Zhonghua school in Zhengzhou in China. Nice. For a month. I've discovered muscles I didn't know I had, and not in a very nice way. 6 hours of training a day, 6 days a week is not really what we're used to.
Wow.
And our quarters were on the 5th floor, no elevators. So that was a great experience, but I did pick up some more of the stick fighting, the way they use their staffs and their spears and all that. So nice. I put some parts I've seen there and I've learned there into my own staff form.
How long were you there training for?
For about a month.
Wow.
There were a lot of people there. Well, actually, that's pretty short compared to the other people that were there. Most people stay there for months, half a year or something, or even 1 or 2 years. But those people all were a lot younger than we were. Right. They did it. There were a few Americans, a few Germans, and they did it right after school, and they went there to train. And we had jobs to get back to, and a mortgage to pay, so we couldn't stay there for many months. So we only stayed 1 month, and it was, well, I would have wanted to learn much more there, but it was a very valuable experience to see how those people approach the martial arts.
Nice, nice. Paul Jones says, hi, Marcel, great guy and great martial artist. I always enjoy getting hit by him.
If I'm teaching a seminar and Paul is there, he is a good dummy. You can hit him pretty nicely. Yeah.
You are intense, man. I remember that. You're intense when it comes to training and hitting and getting hit and all that. So
well, that's what it's about, isn't it?
Wow, yeah. I'm saying it in a good way. Yes, yes, of course. Yes. Kudos to you, my friend. Theo Van Galen, nice interview.
Another one of our students, and also an assistant instructor at our school.
Nice, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Patrick Lansing says, nice to see you too, Master Soto. Being a long ago seminar in 2011. That's right. Yes, being a while.
That was the one in Martian, probably.
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago. Yes, yes. It was actually March of 2011, I believe. Shinobi Lobo Blanco, White Wolf says, has salute from, I guess it's Chile. Big hug.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't get to see the flags. Let's see. Maestro William Larry Congaika, greetings. I've known Marcel for a very long time. Met him in Europe many years ago. Nice.
Yeah, true. I think it was Portugal 2001 the first time, and several times afterwards both in the US, but also in Europe. Yeah, great seeing Larry always. Yeah.
Nice. Patrick says, greetings from my son, Ryan Lansing. Hey, greetings, Ryan. Master Soto, he hopes to see you in the future, maybe a seminar in Marcel's dojo. That would be nice.
You're most welcome, Frank. Anytime.
Thank you. Okay. Rodolfo Kunzman, Maestro, says, great person, Mr. Marcel de Jong. I had the opportunity to compete with him at the Grand Champion in Long Beach 2014. Excellent formed competitor. My respects.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you in Long Beach, Rodolfo. Yeah, I remember
Nice.
very well.
Nelson Pinto, Grandmaster. Hello, gentlemen. Hello, Mr. Pinto. Nice to see you, my friend. I will send you a message. You're also on my list, the good one, not the bad one. Yes, I have two, I guess. Well, okay. So I wanted to ask you. You mentioned it that when you went to the seminar with Grandmaster Mike Pick, salute to him, by the way. And you changed the way you move, and
yes.
so you decided to become his student. And what was it? What could you say or share with people that change in you? What's the difference? Because I think that it's important to explore, right? From the foundation of Kenpo you had into Mr. Pick's vision and the way he moves and he teaches, and I know it's quite unique. What can you share about this, sir?
What appealed to me the most is the direct approach, and of course we all have a direct approach. That's Kenpo, but his was even more direct, more straight into your opponent, doing what you intend to do, regardless of what he does. And that's what appealed a lot to me. And his way of, well, we all say it, strike through the target, not to the target, but he actually did that and made that loose in me. There were quite some things that I already kind of did, because I'm especially for my length, I'm quite a heavy guy. So I'm not very fast, but I go through things. That's what I like to do. And a lot of the things I did when he did his seminar, I suddenly understood why what I did worked so well. And because I understood it, I could do it even better. So keeping your feet on the floor and changing your well, a simple thing like the fighting stance. I always learned one high, one low.
Right.
My picks realm are both high, because what you need to protect is, of course, your head, and yes, also your ribs and everything else, but the head is the most important. So he has a different stance, and I haven't stood in a regular karate fighting stance anymore, only for pictures, but not not when training, ever since.
Well,
so yeah, that's I think that's the thing.
In a photo, you don't want to cover your head, right? You want to.
Yeah, you want to show your head.
Nice. Okay, so, so you can say that his approach is more street oriented, or more what you like.
Combat oriented. And in his thing, you continue to do your thing until the attacker is out, he's gone, and that's what's very appealing to me. I think there's some people might think it's a bit, sometimes you do a bit too much, but I like to train too much so that I can do less if I can. And sometimes I hear people say, well, we train in a civilized manner. I once, that was actually a standard Kenpo technique. I did a technique during a tournament. It was a Hapkido tournament. And I did piercing lance. Okay. And I got very low marks from one of the judges, because he said, that's not self-defense, that is murder.
He's probably right.
He's probably right, but if you don't train that way,
right?
And they say, well, if it's serious, we continue. And I say, no, you're not. If you haven't trained it, if you haven't trained to go on, you're never going to go on. You need to train to go on. And you can always step back as soon as that is possible if you don't want to continue, or if you don't need to continue, if the attacker is knocked out or running away or whatever. If he's out, and you don't have to continue if you don't want to.
So I mentioned that intensity that you have, and you mentioned it that you were in the military. How long were you in the military for?
That's not a very brave story. I was in the military a few years, 2 or 3 years. Started out as a soldier. We had drafts in those days, so I went as a soldier into the Air Force, and after that I went to officer school. So I became an officer, and then I went into air traffic control. So did my air traffic control course in England, in Shrewsbury. And when I came back, they found out that my concentration was not too good. If you're an air traffic controller, you need to keep an eye on that aircraft on the ground and that one in the air, and at the same time that van that's driving there, you've got to keep an eye on all those things at the same time and hear what they're saying to you. That was a bit too much for my attention span, so so I failed, and so that was my Air Force career. It was a great experience, and nowadays I'm very glad that I'm not an air traffic controller. With all respect to those people, but I think it's not my job.
Right.
I still like watching aircraft. Some people may have seen on my Facebook, I post aircraft all the time. I've been watching aircraft ever since I was 11 years old. But if you have to watch aircraft every day, all day, because it's your job, then it's not fun anymore.
Right.
So in the end, all that's past is past. Not an air traffic controller, and now I'm very happy being an attorney in the daytime and a Kenpo instructor at night.
Nice. I wanted to ask, because of that intensity, right? I mean, you did think about being a military guy. You were there for 2-3 years, then you got out of there, and then you have that combative spirit in you, right? And that's what you're looking for when you're doing Kenpo. That's what I'm getting. Am I okay with this?
Well, yes, I think I do have that in my Kenpo. I don't know if I had that in my military career because, well, of course, I did basic training as a soldier. I did basic training to become an officer, but that was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an air traffic controller because at the time I thought it would be fun to be paid to watch aircraft all day. But I was young, and I've got older and maybe a little bit wiser. So nowadays I know that not for me. It's a very demanding job. So I all respect to the people who do that, but I don't think it's for me.
Have you ever trained any other art besides Kenpo?
I have. Well, when I was very young, from 10 until 13, I did judo. But that was more of a play thing than real martial arts in the way I experienced it. Shortly after I got my black belt in 1998, I started doing taekwondo because I wanted to improve my sparring and I wanted to improve my kicking. Nice. So I thought, well, let's get it where they got it, and that's in the taekwondo school. So I did that for a few years. Actually, I think it was. Well, just about until we started our own school, and then I didn't have time anymore because we had to teach all the time. So I did taekwondo, done a little bit of MMA, very little bit of BJJ, and for the rest, it's more. Well, that's just before my last full contact bout against Benoni Budding, good friend of mine here in Holland, and so I did that too. And yeah, well, in seminars, I take whatever I can. It doesn't matter what it is. Is it taekwondo? Is it pencak silat? Is it whatever? I just want to learn.
And you bring everything into your Kenpo?
Well, yes. I try to. That's what I look for when I do a seminar in a different style. I'm not looking to switch. I'm not checking if that what they are doing as a whole is better than what I'm doing. Well, I'm looking for it, but of course, I think what we're doing is the best there is. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. But everybody's got something.
Right.
that we can use. So I use it not to take over their techniques, but to improve my techniques.
Yeah, I'm asking this because I believe that Kenpo has this universe or matrix or whatever you want to call it that allows you to do that, to take from other arts and put it in your Kenpo and make your expression of Kenpo better, right?
Definitely. Well, we can do whatever we like, and our students can do whatever they like. If a student of mine says, "Well, today I want to wrestle on the floor," then I'm not going to say, "Well, that's not Kenpo. We're not going to do that." Try that in a Taekwondo school. It's not going to happen. Are you out of your mind? We're not going to roll around on the floor. That's not Taekwondo.
Right.
And sorry if I insulting any Taekwondo people now.
No, you're right.
I think at least the school where I trained, they were pretty strict. This is Taekwondo and this is not Taekwondo. And in Kenpo, everything's Kenpo. If it works, it's Kenpo.
Nice. And when you went to China to train that Chuan Fa, that experience that you had, did you find any similarities with the Chinese Chuan Fa and the American Kenpo that you do?
Not very much. The school where I trained, it was more of a cultural experience than and of course I picked up a few stick moves that I could use, but for the rest it was more of the show version of that art. I think I sent you one of the pictures with the guys with the orange suits on, and that's the Shaolin monks. Yeah, that's where we are. You see the group of foreigners in the back. And those guys were training for performances. So that's what they did. We learned, at least we trained. If you're lying on your back and you jump up straight away on your feet, I never managed it, but that's what we tried to learn. I was too heavy for that, I think. They were bouncing up and down on their heads. I don't know if you've ever seen that. They put their head on the ground and they swing their feet up and their back on their feet, and they did that kind of stuff. They did. But we also did a few forms, and it was fun training that, but it wasn't very practical. So did I take any technical stuff from there back home? Not really, but I did learn a lot about training, about how do you train. In the old days, we used to think that if you make your students very tired before they start the technical training, they're tired and they can't learn anymore. Over there, I found out that is not entirely the case. Well, you shouldn't be completely knocked out, of course, because it was too hard to start the training, but you can very well start your training with a tough warm up and some conditioning and all that, and after that do the techniques. And that's how I still teach. I like to. When I teach, I like to start off with a good, what we call a little warming up, but actually it's conditioning and strength, what we do, and the warm up, of course. And I like that because we used to say, let's not spend our time on that because that is what people can do at home. And nowadays, I found out that yes, they can, but they won't.
Right.
They're not gonna do push-ups at home. Well, some of them are, of course, but a lot of people are not. And I hear from my students that they like doing lots of burpees, and they're going to be mad at me for saying this, but I like burpees. Not that they feel very good, but I know they are very good because you train everything in your body, and so we do quite a lot of that in the beginning of the training, and I learned that in China, where it was a lot harder. Training lasted 6 hours a day. We started at 5 a.m. There was a bell, and you had to be downstairs in 5 minutes. There was the instructor, the Shifu, and all he said was move. You had to just move, do something, get warm, and then we started running. And that's how the day started. The first 1.5 hour training was before breakfast. And having that experience is still very valuable for me, for knowing what can you ask from a body and still be able to learn things and to get technically better, which we try to achieve over there.
Nice. Kim Dahl says, hey, from Denmark, Copenhagen. Nice to see Marcel on this show. All the best. Hope to see you on the mat soon.
Hope so too, Kim. Hope so, cool.
Nice, nice. Bagelis Drosos, hello from Athens, Greece. Marcel de Jong.
Hi, Patelis.
Mark Sigel says, hello, Marcel. It's always good to see you.
Yeah, better to see each other live, Mark. But as long as that's not possible, this is pretty good as well.
So, when you teach Kenpo, do you teach the Ed Parker's curriculum, the 24 techniques?
Well, yes, we train the full curriculum. When I started training, my instructor had an idea that it was maybe for an orange belt too much to learn 24 techniques. So we did 12. In the end, we had all the techniques. That was at a third black level. You had the last few techniques. So we went for the full 154. And when we started our own school, I changed that a little bit because I still agree that we can better train 12 techniques very good than 24 not so good. And you've only got, well, you got as much time as you like, of course, but a lot of students, they do want to test for their new belt like every 6 months in the beginning.
Right.
And if you have to teach an orange belt 24 techniques in those 6 months, then they're going to probably remember them, but they're not going to be very good at them. So I'd rather teach them 12 and have those pretty good before we move on. But what I changed was that I don't want to be finished at third black. I want to be finished at first black, because I think that if our students with a first black go to a seminar or a tournament, or they take an international exam, people expect them to know all the techniques, and I would like them to have that and to know everything. So we changed it a bit. So by black first, we're ready, and then we start the extensions.
Nice, nice. Bobby says, I guess that means burpees on Saturday.
Definitely.
Nice. Juan Carlos Martinez, salud from Argentina. Saludos, comando, gracias. Okay, so you teach the curriculum, but when you're giving your classes, you put a lot of effort into straight and conditioning. So your classes go for an hour?
We have 2 hours, consecutive hours for the adults. And officially, it's the first hour is beginner, second hour is the advanced. But all the advanced students come at the beginning. So they train for 2 hours, and after an hour, the beginners can go, and we continue with the advanced students. So they actually train 2 hours.
Nice. So you give them one hell of a workout.
Well, that's what we try, yes, of course.
Nice. That's the way it should be. You gotta be conditioned if you wanna survive in a street and encounter. It would be bad to be defeated because of the lack of air.
True that, yeah. Of course, what a lot of people say is a self-defense fight should not last any longer than, what is it, a minute? Not even a minute, half a minute. Yeah, it should, but does it? Maybe not. Maybe it lasts for only 30 seconds, but then there comes opponent number 2, another 30 seconds. And in the end, it doesn't hurt to be well-conditioned and to be strong. Because that's also, be precise is much more important than being strong, I think. That's true. Right. But if I am very precise, but my opponent is also very precise, but I'm stronger, I'm still going to win.
Right.
And let's just be precise and strong.
And besides, adrenaline will take a toll on you if you're not conditioned. I mean, you can run out of air before you even start moving. Like, right? Under pressure, and if you don't know how to handle your breathing and all that, you're in trouble.
True. I remember when I started sparring in competition, and in those days it was only semi-contact, but still you would how long does a match last? Like 3 minutes, and you're completely out of air. after 3 minutes in the beginning. Not because what you did, but because of all the tension in your body.
Exactly.
Because after a while, my body hasn't become any more better conditioned or whatever. My mind has become better conditioned. I'm used to it and I don't care anymore. And now, if I would have to spar for 3 minutes, semi-contact, I know they're not going to break my nose anyway. I'm going in relaxed, and I'm going out relaxed, and I don't get tired anymore from that. And then the first time I went into a full contact bout, there was a tension again, because now they're not going to tap my helmet and score a point. They're going to try and knock me out. And that's a completely different experience, and a very valuable one, because, well, it's a little closer to actual, well, I'm not saying that right. It's not really closer to actual fighting, because you're still wearing the big gloves, which is not close to actual fighting at all. But it adds another dimension to the techniques, to also do that and to handle the tension of knowing that they do want to knock you out. And that's what made it very valuable for me. I didn't win very much of the full contact bouts, but that was not my goal. My goal was two things. I want to survive this game, which I did. I've never been knocked out. And if possible, I want them to be afraid of me. And if they, in the end, have scored a few more points than I did, I don't even care. And that's what I did. And in some cases, I managed to do, I think. I know there are people that did not really look forward to fighting me. And in the end, they won the fight because they were much better in scoring points.
Right.
Which, of course, is the goal of that game. Even that game, also full contact game, still scoring points. And they did very, very well. And I, well, a little less. So I just went in there for, well, I liked doing it. What I always found a very interesting difference between point fighting and full contact fighting. If you're point fighting and you don't win, then you lose. And if you're full contact fighting and you don't win, you just don't win. Nobody loses. Everybody treats you with the same, almost the same respect. Of course, the winner gets a little more, and he should, because that he did better.
Right.
But the reward is a lot different.
Nice. So you do your students do spar in your school?
No, not as much as I would like, but yes.
Okay.
Well, especially last year and a half, of course, because with no contact, my students are all very good at block set 1 and stand set now.
Well, yes,
that's what we've been doing for a year and a half.
Right. I understand. Got you. Frank Bigoriuk says, big hug, brother Frank. Thank you, sir. Big hug. And Mr. Marcel de Jong is such a great Kempoist and an outstanding human being.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Nice
Salud,
words.
brother.
Thank you.
Master Juan Martín Álvarez. Salud, maestros from Argentina, Buenos Aires. It's a pleasure to see you here. Gracias.
Thank you.
Saludos. Willie Kelly, Marcel, greetings. Amsterdam in the day. Good memories fighting Irish.
Oh, yes. Fighting Irish. Yes, definitely. Good memories of training with Willie Kelly as well. I've only trained with him a few times. I've seen him numerous times, but training in his school, I still remember very well that I was there, and Gino Fuschiani was there for a seminar, and I trained with some of the students, but also with Mr. Kelly, and that was awesome. So,
nice.
Great experience, yes.
Maestro Alcides Luna, salud, Master Frank,
Salud.
big hug. Saludos, maestro, un abrazo. Grandmaster Nathaniel Ortega Makana Oke Akua, aloha from Hawaii. Thank you, sir. David Silmakers, is that it?
Zilmakers.
Silmakers, thank you. Respects and greeting from the Achterhoek. I am a student from Grandmaster Daniel Hayen and have met Marcel 1 or 2 times. My teacher thinks very high about the both of you. Much aloha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Salute to your teacher, Grandmaster Hayen. Salute. Thank you. Chantal Uding. Thanks for 8 beautiful years of Kempo practice for me and my son. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did that. Very good. Yeah.
Hey, good. I'm
Thank
getting
you,
good.
Chantal. It's been a long time, yes.
Nice. Theo Van Gallen says, I learn at Katsudo, but I also love to teach at Katsudo. Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Good.
And we're very grateful for Theo and all the others that help us, because I shouldn't think of that I should run that I'd have to run the school all by myself, or the two of us, my wife and myself, because with all the hours we have now, I think 10 hours a week of teaching, and everybody's got a full job, day job besides that. So that's a lot. And if you have to handle all those groups all by yourself, then it would be no fun anymore. So thanks a lot to all our assistants, all the instructors over here, and they're doing a great job.
So you teach children, right? Kids.
Yes.
From what I've seen in the videos. And how's that experience? Do you teach the same, or do you play with the curriculum, or do you focus on different things, or?
Well, yes, we focus on different things, because first you've got to get them to listen to you. And the adults usually do that right away, because they are more keen to actually learn something, and the kids are more playful, which is okay. For the curriculum, we teach the kids exactly the same as the adults, so that if they reach the age to go to the adult group, they don't have to hand in their belts or add stripes or whatever. They can just move to the adults, and they're good. It's just that the adults, we always train straight away for the full belt. So you train everything, and then you take a test for yellow and for orange and so on. For the kids, we split the material in 6 pieces, and for each piece they get a slip around the belt in the next color. So the white belts have yellow stripes, so that they can have some kind of reward every now and then, and it doesn't have to last for a year and a half before they finally can get the yellow belt. And besides that, if you have a group of 20 or 30 kids, then it's very nice to have all those stripes, because you know by the stripes what they are supposed to know and what they're not supposed to know. So it's much easier to divide the group over the instructors. While as everybody's got the same belt with no stripes, then you got to remember which kid has got how many techniques, which is almost impossible if you have 30.
Interesting. Good. Well, let's see. We're almost out of time. So let's see. We have one more comment. Stan Hatfield says, breathing can be difficult to train. I have seen lots of students hold their breath all the way through short 3. They were completely gassed out after that. Good morning from Portland, Oregon. Great interview. Thank you both. I really want to go back to Amersfoort. Beautiful city.
Yeah, well, true. And breathing is one of the things you should emphasize when doing a form, of course. That's a good thing about the forms getting longer, because students can get away with doing short form 1 without breathing. Short form 2 is okay. Long form 2 gets a little more difficult. By the time they get to long 3, nobody's holding their breath anymore, because you'll die before you get to the end. So you'll have to. And once you learn that, you start breathing throughout the other forms as well. Apart, of course, that we're not sitting around waiting until they discover themselves. We tell them, of course, but it's good that at some point they also discover themselves that they should breathe. And we do a lot of bag work as well. And if you don't breathe, you'll find out that you cannot hit very hard. You need to breathe also for creating power.
Scott Higgins, Maestro, says, hey, Marcel.
Hi, Scott. Good to see you. Well, I'm not seeing you, but good to hear from you.
Okay, so if somebody wants to reach you, where can they find you in social media, sir?
Well, they can find me on Facebook and on YouTube, and just type in my name. If you do it on Google, you'll find some Dutch or a Canadian football player who stole my name. But if you look on the Facebook, you can easily find me. And if you search for Katsudo Kenpo, then you will most probably also find me. Yeah, that was my Facebook.
Yeah, that's this a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, that's us. That's maybe easier than looking for my name, because my last name is the most common last name in the Netherlands. I think there are about 5 million of us, so that's not going to be easy to find. But if you look for Katsudo, there's only one.
That's the website.
Yes.
Okay, and you also have a YouTube channel, right?
I do. Yes. Ah, there we are. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, well, we are out of time, sir. If you want to say something, add something just to finish the podcast, sir.
Well, thank you very much for the honor, Frank. It was great. It went a lot faster than I thought. When you invited me, I thought, well, I don't have enough stories to tell for a full hour, but it appears I have, and I've actually got a few left. So if I meet any one of you viewers in a bar somewhere in the world after training, there's more stories to be told, and especially there's much more stories to be made. That's a great picture. That's the instructors group at the Calling in 2018, I think, 18 or 19. Anyhow, it's at the Calling. It was great, organized by Damien Abbott, my good friend, and a lot of good friends over there. Oh, that's me again, drinking beer. And
so if they see you in a bar like that, they can go and say hello.
Oh, sure. Everybody can say hello.
Well, thank you very much, sir. This was amazing. Thank you for sharing your insights and your experience in the art. And thank you for accepting the invitation again. It's an honor. It's good to see you. It's good to see you're doing well. My regards to the family, please, to your wife and everybody there.
I will.
Your students. And be safe. Take care.
Likewise, everybody, and yourself as well. Be safe. Take care.
Well, thank you, everybody. And just let me just say that we have on Thursday, we're going to have here Sir Patrick Kennedy from Ireland is going to be here on the show. So don't miss it. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great day and bye-bye.